welcome everyone back to
The
Power
power of
Speech.
speech. Oh my days.
I'm so excited.
Me
I'm
too.
so happy to have everyone back, and I hope you enjoyed last week's episode. It was a lot to take through actually, and I think it does become a bit of a therapy session for us as well. So that's always
Actually.
nice to have. If for the ones that went last week, you can also go back and have a little look. We were talking about a little bit of our story of how we got to the UK, and today, as promised, we're going to be talking about how this affected our mental health and all our emotions. Oh, Lord, something just fell. Let's ignore.
Let's just ignore it. Let's pretend it didn't come.
Yeah, we'll edit it out of the video. But yeah, how are you feeling today?
Yeah. I mean, to me today work has been a bit quiet. I'm excited to record.
I'm
Every
actually
day that we are recording, it's exciting because as you said, this is therapy for us. Like
Yeah.
we do this for ourselves and we do this for you as well. That's why it's a safe space, not just for all of us. So I'm just feeling excited actually to dive right into it. How are you feeling? All good?
We're back to the chairs, which, God willing,
Honestly,
we
we
will
haven't invested.
change. Yeah, we're going to invest in chairs.
Oh my goodness.
Because one, I'm very fidgety actually, and especially when there's chairs that move, I feel like throughout the whole videos I'm just like like moving, and then I get really quite happy about it, and then I just start spinning. Surprised I'm not just spinning around. But yeah, work has been a bit too much this week, so I can't wait. The day we're recording on is actually a Friday, so thank God it's Friday because we are ready for the weekend.
which
And
is
what are
very
we going to
short.
do? We will sleep.
This is why we are besties.
Basically. That's all we're doing.
That's all we do.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone that watches this episode, I guess we want to obviously connect, but make sure that everyone is okay, at least for the people in our little community, for you to be okay, for you to be reassured. I know that moving can be quite difficult, so we're just going to talk about and briefly go through how that's affected us and what we've done to maybe overcome it. Some tips as well. Would you like to start?
Yeah, I'm always starting. I think to me, mental health moving affected my mental health. I had a life in Ghana, right? I had family, friends, and there's great opportunity to come further your education, and it's exciting. Everyone is excited, but then the first thing that hits you is you are going away from everything you've known. You are going to start fresh in this new place where you don't know anyone. You don't know whether you're going to fail. You don't know whether you're going to succeed. All you know is I'm just going to this country. No friends, no family, nothing. The loneliness just hits you so bad. And yeah, I think to me, just the loneliness, missing my family and my friends. That was the first thing that actually hit. And you hear a lot of people talk about it's lonely here and then it's depressing and stuff, but it actually is. Like, it is. It's very gloomy, especially during winter when it gets dark. Like now, it gets dark by
today.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm done for the rest of the day, but you still have other activities and other life to do. So it was quite tough. The first instance.
Yeah, for my side of the story, I think as a child it can become very confusing. I think something that I wanted to bring out and something that I think I didn't talk enough on the last episode, I think, or probably I did, I can't remember, was actually to be very patient with your children. You know, when we come to a different country, especially for the eldest, because I'm the eldest. So especially for the eldest, there's like there's expectation for the eldest child to become more responsible and to be the guide. And then that also does a massive effect, because it's not only the confusion of what just happened, how comes I came here, and the whole things that happened on our way to here, but now I need to learn how to translate, and I have to translate documents that I've never heard of and things that in school they've never taught you. And then along of you growing, you then start getting this whole cultural clash of you don't even know where you belong anymore. A sense of you, or at least for me, I will always speak for myself. My parents, you go into our house, and before it was more, now we've actually dialed it down a little bit. But before, you used to go into my house and it was Ecuador in a house. Like, in my family, we only listen to Latin things. We used to only watch Ecuadorian TV or Latin TV, Ecuadorian radio. We only still eat Ecuadorian food. Well, again, now that we were a little bit older, now we've started doing different dishes and stuff like this. But when I was growing up, it was all very much Ecuador centered. That I felt I was very Ecuadorian. But when I went back to Ecuador, I was definitely not from there. I was stressing because it's very unorganized. Simple things like, when you walk up the stairs, that you have to go either left or right.
So that someone else will...
Yeah, or, if the door's open, you first have to let the people off and then you get on. And in Echo, I remember people were pushing in. There was like no sense of cues. It was that like street smart thing. And I was just thinking, what is this? Yeah.
This is where I come from.
And I did feel like my family also felt, like my Ecuadorian family, also felt that I was too British to be from there. And of course, our dialect, my one hasn't really been lost, because I love Ecuador, and I love my accent, and I love my traditions, and I love my culture, and I would do anything to see it better. But once I was there, it was very much of, how do you say this? Like, obviously complicated things like educational stuff or medicines and things like this. That was very much like, how do you say this? There's a show in Ecuador not in Ecuador, Mexico, but it's called El Chavo. And I would very much talk like backwards. That's how the person or thing used to talk. And it was very stressful, because it was a bit of, I don't belong here and I don't belong there. When I started growing up, I tried to change the mindset of, actually, I belong here and there. But behind me, there is I'm not really part of both. And even like, for example, here, many of you don't know, but we obviously work in the same building. So Dora knows my friends and I know hers.
Which I don't have any.
I know Michael.
She's not even friends. I made her friends my friends, apart from her friends.
I'm gonna die.
Dora knows my friends. How many friends? Just the one.
Anyway, they'll see that I've recently started trying out things from here, which is nice. But it's just recently that I've been trying, to go even to explore what London is. Not that I didn't before, I did, but it was in a different level. It was more like clubs and things like this. And still, my community was always still Latin based. Not that there's anything wrong. It's just because we have that need of belonging, we want to be in a place that we find our safe space, right? And ourselves. That's usually with our own. And we try to look for that community.
That's true. I think with mine, I think because mine was just to be in school, I think I had the whole thing where I needed friends. I think that was like one of the most important things that I needed. I needed friends, but I didn't have them because now your friends back home, my friends back home in Ghana will try to reach out. And mind you, I came here for studies, so and masters is not like doing undergrad back in Ghana.
Yeah.
Here you have to actually, I mean, Ghana, you put in the work because I went to the best university in Ghana, UCC. But yeah, you have to like actually put in like more work. And I realized I wasn't having enough time for the friends that were back home. And I didn't also have friends here as well. So it felt like, who am I speaking to? And then what am I doing? And then I had something happen just 2 months into moving the country, which we'll go into it later. But that also affected my mental health more. And I had to go through like therapy and stuff. And in that process, or in that part of my life, I couldn't be there for my friends. I couldn't be on my phone because I was dealing with stuff that I didn't know or I have never dealt with before. And you had friends trying to reach out to you and not replying them early. And it's like, okay, you don't want to speak to us, stuff like that. And I remember I had my old WhatsApp number get deactivated all of a sudden. I didn't get the chance to like transfer my messages and then my number, so I lost touch with all my friends. So if I didn't have your number offhead, I didn't have your number at all. And they didn't also have my UK number because I hadn't switched at the time, so I couldn't import in each other. So as of now, almost 60 to 70% of my friends back in Ghana are no longer my friends because we lost touch, which is very sad because they were my people, you know. And another thing that also put a lot of mental stress and pressure is you're expected to take care of everyone back home. Like, you have friends texting you for stuff financially, you have family, you have all of this, and you don't have it, and you can't even say you don't have it. And then people think, oh, you're stingy and stuff. And you feel that because you are here and they are back home, you need to work so hard to take care of them. I remember when I was even doing my master's and I wasn't really properly working, if I go to Primark to buy something, £10 for myself, I'm thinking this 10 quid could do something in Ghana. Someone, a friend or a family could benefit from this 10 quid. And I felt so guilty. There's a guilt of you doing something nice for yourself without having to think like, oh, what of those back home? Like, what are they going to do? Because now you become like everybody's savior, everybody's hope. Like, there's this great expectation on what you have to bring back home, what you have to bring to the table. And it's very exhausting, honestly. It is. Like,
And it's unfair.
It's
really unfair. Like, I haven't necessarily felt that because obviously I came here really young. So the connection I have with my family from back home, of course, I love them all. But there's like a limit, you know, because I haven't had that much experiences with them as with my family from here or my friends from here, which literally have gone through everything together. Things are different. So I haven't actually felt that pressure, but my parents have. And that has triggered so much things from within me because I see the unfairness. And, you know, many times my parents have stopped giving us things to send back home, which in its time, I didn't mind it because I was only like, 14, 15. But now that I'm older, I do stand up and I say, what are you doing? Like, stop doing that kind of thing. And it does irritate me because they do feel responsible for everything that happens in Ecuador. On my side, though, I still do feel a responsibility, but it's not with back home, it's with my parents. So I have this huge, like, pressure on my back of not failing. Not failing because I think it'll be like a smack to the face of my parents. And to be, you know what, something, this is actually crazy, but I don't have children, but I feel like I've somehow set that type of pressure for my brother.
Yeah.
Of every time that Frank does something, my brother's called Frank.
If you didn't
Hi,
catch
Frank.
that. Hi,
Hey,
Frank.
And every time he does something, it's almost like, well, don't repeat the same mistakes that I did, because then why did I go through it then, kind of thing. But that's not fair, because he should also be allowed to
make mistakes and
explore.
stuff.
Exactly. And so I feel like I've put in that on him, but I think it's just more of fear of, well, we have to make sure that mom and dad are okay. And in a way that has also helped me a lot into pursuing a lot of dreams that I have, because I do majority of the things thinking about them. Of, I don't want them to, I don't. This is gonna sound terrible, but I don't want them to see me fail. Not because I'll let them down, but it's just I don't want that thought of, oh, then why did we sacrifice so much, kind of thing. And then especially with my mom, because we both went through the same thing together. It's almost like I know exactly how you feel. So I don't want you to feel disappointed, or that it wasn't worth it. Like until now, so far, thank God, everything I've done, it has been of, well, are you happy with this, kind of thing. And every time it's no longer like a enjoyment. It's more like, like, are we good? Like, tick. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of pressure as well.
There's a lot of pressure. I think it is. Oh my God. This is actually therapy for us.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think, we obviously talk. Today I had someone come to me and say that he actually likes our friendship. And I'm like, yeah, she's crazy, but I still love her. We actually do talk, but I think this space as well, we have created a safe space for both of us. Outside work, and then also outside this. But that's why we are bringing you into this space, because we realize that we create a safe space for each other. And then I think these sessions also help us talk about certain things. I had therapy today, and then I was telling she was asking if therapy was good for me, and then I was telling her that I actually do enjoy, because there are times where you have this whole thing in your mind, like whatever we are talking about is things that we feel every day, but then it feels good to talk about it. It feels good to have a safe space where you can openly say it. Like it really just hit me again about why this podcast means a lot to us.
And it is still creating that community, right? Because I think sometimes it is really hard to find your own. Like, I know that there is let me begin with Latin community. It's huge in London. So if no one knows, we're here. Like, there's loads of us. So it's not like we don't have a community, but because it's not the same being Colombian and Ecuadorian. It's not the same being Spanish and Portuguese. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's I'm giving dumb examples, but just because you're from South America, it doesn't create you as one. We all have our own little differences. And that's not to say that someone's good or bad or anything like this. It's more of where you belong. Like, there's even between us, there's like certain jokes or even singers today that we were discussing, and I was like, you don't know this person, how do you not know? And same with my friends from work, that they're always telling me like, oh, do you know this TV program? And I'm like, no. And then the same with me.
It's like recently that Traitor.
Oh yeah. Have you watched Traitors, guys? Let us know.
I haven't, but then someone told me it's like an English thing, everybody's watching it. And then I am here and I'm thinking, oh my God,
I should start.
But I didn't even have a TV, so
but definitely start, because it's the best thing ever. It's so funny. Anyway, back to the
point. So there's another thing that clogged, another pressure or mental stuff that affected my mental health when moving here is, back home there is a problem for you to find solution to. I'm talking about career wise. people start. It's easy to start a business back home if you have the financial means. It's easy to get into certain positions if you get into those positions. I don't want to say if you know people,
Yeah.
but it's sometimes if you know people,
It helps. It gives a little hand.
It's a push. And here, the job market is tough, right? And lately, or before starting my career journey in the UK, I see my friends back home who are in great positions, who are in positions that if I were back home, I'd probably be in that and more. Because again, if you have the right people, it's not to who you know, who knows you. But you are in a position where I'm in a position right now where I look at my friends and I feel like, oh my God, was it a mistake coming here? Because I remember that after my master's, I discussed with my dad that do I go back to Ghana or do I stay here? And I had the option to do either, whether I was going to go back or I was going to stay here. Going back, I knew that career-wise, it was going to push me, and I still will have a community. But at the time I finished my master's, I couldn't go back to Ghana because mentally I wasn't ready to go back to Ghana because the reason why I would go back to Ghana was no longer there. And I felt like, okay, I'm going to stay here.
Can we talk about that?
The reason?
Yeah.
So
just because I would like to, that's something really important and something that a lot of people don't actually get how hard it is to leave the country. Like, and I'm so sorry to cut you off there. But of course your situation with mine is totally different, and I love that about us because we have like two different viewpoints. But that is such an important thing because that's the biggest sacrifice you make when leaving the country. And no one actually know, like they know because they go through it, and some don't understand because they've never left the country. But that's literally one of the worst and one of the main sacrifices that you make when you leave.
So to those of you who don't know, she knows.
I brought it up.
She did. 2 months into moving here, I lost my mom, which to me still is, and I don't think anything will ever be the most difficult aspect of my life, the most difficult thing I've been through. So mentally we'll go details into that. But when it was the decision to go back to Ghana, I couldn't go because my mom was not there, and I couldn't go for her burial. I couldn't, there was nothing I could do because it felt like leaving, thinking you're going to go back to the people you love and everything, and then there was nothing to go back to in a way. And
I feel like it's almost like if you go back, it'll be real.
Yeah, it'll be real. That is the thing. That is actually the thing. Going back will make it real. Because right now, it feels like I'm living in this bubble where there are times I actually forget that my mom is passed. There are times where something happens and I'm like, oh, I'm going to tell her. Because the reality of it hasn't hit me because I wasn't in that space. And then when I was discussing with my dad about going back or staying here, I chose to stay here because I wouldn't say the strength, but then mentally I wasn't ready to go back to face what has happened, because that was never the plan. And I feel like, well, we don't know what happened, but if I knew that coming into the country 2 months later, I'm going to lose the most important person in my life, I think I would have stayed and spent every second I had with her, but I didn't know that. And I think it's one of you lose things. Like when you travel, you gain stuff, but then you also lose stuff. And then mostly you lose more things than you gain, but mostly too you gain more things than you lose. But in my case, I feel like that sacrifice was huge. It was
Yeah, we're actually on a similar boat because when I came here, well, when my mom and I came here, on the so yeah, we arrived here in July, I think, and in November, that's when my uncle passed.
the
And
one that was like a daughter.
yeah. So I think we should make like little stories about that. But anyway,
We should.
yeah, about
We have
everything that
enough
went
mental
through.
maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, he and well, for me, it was more of it's my fault because I was the one that used to tell him not to drink. I was the one, he looked after me, and that was like, I became his responsibility. So he wasn't able to drink when I was around. I was always looking out for him. All of this in my 6-year-old self. Which later, much later, like when I was 16, I finally understood that actually wasn't, but that was with a lot of therapy as well, and a lot of help and
that's
stuff
like 10
this.
years down the line.
Yeah.
To
And
carry
even
that with
now,
him,
like this year, we went back with Brian, my husband. My husband is called
Oh,
Brian.
Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Now we just joke names. We should make it.
I should do like a first meet my family so you'll understand the stories.
And we love Brian.
We do love Brian. This time that I went back with Brian, we haven't gone back to Ecuador since 3 years ago, I think it's been. Anyway, when the first time he went over, he was just my boyfriend. And I didn't really want him there, so I didn't introduce him really to anywhere.
Sorry,
that would be a story time. That would be a story time because about how everything went out. But we do love him, and he's such a lovely man. Anyway, but this time that we went together, we went to the cemetery, and when I went to my uncle's grave, and I introduced him to Brian, and it was literally like, you're missing out on so many things. Let me update you and everything that's been going on, because I don't talk to him or anything like this, like here, for example. I only go back to visit, and it was like a hard hit. Keep in mind, it's a long years that have been going through. So
that's about grief. It's years, but then it's still it stays. You just navigate your life around it. It never goes away.
But that is something like that. I feel like that's the hardest struggle for when you do, especially, for example, my dad, bless his heart, he's lost 3 people in his life, important people, like my uncle, his dad, his sister recently, and the first 2 we were illegal, like we weren't documented. So my dad didn't have a choice of going back to say goodbye or anything like this. Neither did we. So, and with that's a lie, sorry, it was just with my uncle. With my granddad, he was able not to say goodbye, but he was able to like bury him. And then with my auntie, he didn't make it because she was quite quick. But and the only way that we were able to say goodbye was always through the phone. 15th, weddings, like important things, celebrations. Thank God for the phones that now we can do this. But back then, how would you? It is really difficult.
It is difficult. I think it's one of, like, you miss a lot. You miss out a lot, because I couldn't go back to my mom's burial as well, and because I couldn't, and it's just. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up today. Only because I feel like this episode needs much more in depth and much more time for us.
In fact, there are things coming up that it's going to be in future episodes where I'm talking about how I dealt with my grief and everything, where Diana is going to talk about how she dealt with it, because there is no formula for how you deal with grief. I mean, I know the whole 5 stages of grief, but I feel like there's mix and pain. There's a lot. So now we'll just talk about how we cope. We'll just briefly talk about how we cope, and then we'll do like a reflection. To me, coping with mental health, what helped me Well, therapy is amazing. I think during our first episode we spoke about how therapy is great, because I think therapy didn't get me through, but helped me after my mom and my school. Amazing, they gave me someone to talk to. I'm still going through therapy because life happens and so many things goes on. I like to journal. I like to write a lot. I used to send messages whenever something happens. I'll send a message to my mom's WhatsApp. But then I lost that phone because I held onto that phone for so long because I didn't want to lose that. And then when my WhatsApp got disconnected, I had to switch to writing it down. So I have like 3 different journals. I do one that if I need to say something to my mom, I say it. There's one that if life being here and missing back home and stuff happen and like general day-to-day stuff, I write it down. And there's one I call it my prayer book, that because there are times where you just cannot say the prayers out loud. There are times I can't. I don't know, maybe some of you feel the same way, but to me, I prefer to write it down. And I think that's helped me a lot. And sometimes just speaking to my family back home, actually. I think my sister Irama, best. I mean, I love all my siblings, but they know she's there. So she has been my rock. She's been amazing. Even back home when I was in Ghana till now, she's been there. Sometimes she calls me, and she calls me as much as my mom will call me, and then I'll be like, "Why are you calling me too much? Am I your boyfriend or something?" But I love that, and then I think that has helped me. And then my dad has been amazing. I mean, he's the reason why I came here, Daddy. I love you. He's the reason why I came here. I know he's going to see this and be like, Chica. He's the reason why I came here, and he's been a support as well. Now every Friday, today I'm going to call him. I do like Friday check-ins, and then he recently, just this week, he texted me and I'm like, yeah, let me give you life updates. And I just so yeah, my dad has been very supportive, and my sister. And now, I think for the longest time, Diana, she didn't know I was going to mention her, but she has been a rock. She's been crazy, but I think the best part about coming to work is knowing that I'm going to come see you, actually. I knew that I'm going to come. I think mostly I'm just sitting by. I work. Just so my employers
manager.
I work, but I think yes, I feel, and then I've made a few friends here. Oh, and not to forget my friends in Bristol from church, Charlotte. I'm not even going to mention them because all my friends, Life Church Bristol, held me through the toughest time. Like they were my first rock. They held me, those friends from church. There were times where I would talk non-stop about my mom and they would listen. I would just have to text Charlotte and she's going to make me laugh. And I'm really grateful. Like moving from Bristol to London is one of the things that I miss so much, that mostly I keep saying I want to go back to Bristol. The only reason I stopped saying it a lot now is because of her. Because literally I want to go back to Bristol when I feel like I found another important rock. But they held me. I would have, it would have been bad without them, and I'm very grateful to them. Yeah. What about you? How do you cope? What do you think you're grateful for?
Well, I was very blessed by God for giving me an amazing family. I honestly think without both my parents specifically, none of this, because to be fair, okay, so starting from my mom is my best friend, like ridiculous how best friends, like that. It gets to a point
I'm not jealous.
where I have to like remind her that she's my mom and she can't tell me certain things, vice versa.
I love their relationship.
It's ridiculous because of course our age gap is quite small, so it's my mom is so funny, and my dad has literally been in the places when I'm like sinking. And I then get a bit of courage and I'll tell him, and then he'll come out with all his wisdom. And then I'm only saying them two because that's who I go and vent to. But who keeps me on my feet and constantly makes me, like continue with life and stuff, it is my siblings. Like Frank and Stephanie are my babies. Like they obviously are not my son and daughter, but it does feel like they're completely mine. So I do try and like push them to become like what I would love.
The best version of themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. And it really is truly them. And then obviously now that we've got the addition of Brian, he's obviously my other half, literally.
Yeah.
So everything, like when I'm really upset, I always go to him and I just cry or whatever I need to do. But I always get home. At the moment, we're living with my parents, so every time that I have like this whole anxiety or whatever, I always vent to my mom, and then she just listens. And I think that's what helps a lot, because she just listens. Well, that has been really helpful. Now, something that I've never struggled with is with making friends, because your girl over here can talk.
Here we are.
Yeah.
She. Let me know. Let me. It happened.
So
We are here.
this is how we started this. But it is. So I do have quite a big group of friends. And I mold myself around them as well, to like how whatever culture I need to adjust myself to. But it has been helpful for them to actually take me out, and this includes you, to actually take me out of my roots and my culture and bring a new
shout outs to me.
Shout out to you. And it's true, all of this do help, and actually finding the positive, because a lot of people will tell you negative things about London, which actually piss me off sometimes. Because at the end of the day, for me, it does feel like my country, as well as Ecuador, of course. But you really do have to find the beauty in London. Like, it is such a beauty, and it used to be so much better. Of course, now life has happened, but there is actually so much to do. There's so much to take advantage of. I know it gets dark really quickly.
Very 4 p.m.
Yeah. But there's actually so much, and sometimes I feel like we don't take advantage of going out and actually exploring it.
Right.
It doesn't help that it's super expensive, so we have to do things like once a month.
I don't even do once a month.
Yeah.
I just go overseas.
And this is our purpose of taking that. But that is what has held me down a lot. Oh, and then like things like journaling. I don't actually do journaling. I do a lot of diary, like just to organize my life.
She has a big diary.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually, that's a whole shout that we have to do. That eventually, hopefully by the beginning of next year, we might be taking out a version that will help all of us, but that would definitely help me, because I have a diary, but a lot of things are missing in it that I would love to put in. And then we'll eventually obviously show you around. But yeah, I do everything in there, and it's literally just to organize myself. And my routine is actually music and podcasts. So in the morning I do.
She's in one now.
Yeah. In the morning I always listen to like worship songs before I come to work. And then I read the Bible on my way, like on the train. I read a page or two, and then when I arrive here, if I have time, obviously, I'll listen to a podcast. And then I start my day. But that actually helps me a lot to soothe myself, because it relaxes me from all the chaos that's happening outside. But my main one definitely is family. I think if my parents weren't here, or my siblings didn't exist, I think it would be like for what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, oh, I feel like, I don't know, Dana, but I feel like this episode, it wasn't meant to get heavy, but got heavy somewhere in between. And yeah, it's if it's heavy, it's heavy because again, this is the space and it's life, and it happens. And we can't say that we are creating a safe space for you and then for us, and then we will hide our emotions or the heaviness of what we are going through. We can't sugarcoat it. This is us, and this is our way of healing and helping each other as well. And I think my reflection for today is moving is hard. Um, it's exciting, but it's also hard and can be very lonely sometimes. But find the little things to get you through each day. If someone asks me, what are your plans? Mostly I say surviving, trying to do something to survive. She is upbeat than I am. I feel like I'm on the more depressing side.
I'm busy every weekend. Like you need to book me a month in advance or sometimes two.
We have a spa date and dinner date, and it's been for 2 months now. Now it has to be in December. Yeah, you should actually do it. I had to actually go through a diet to find space, and it's like, no, this space, not this place. I booked myself a dinner.
Yeah.
In December. Thank God, I found space. But I think my reflection, as I said, that it is difficult, and we are not going to say that it's easy. And there are people who find it smooth, easy, make friends, like, bam, 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 everything works for them, which is amazing and is brilliant. But if you are in a position where you are going through your own little thing about moving or being in a different space, just remember, find the little thing, take it one day at a time. It's just one day at a time. Like, survive the day, and then after surviving the day, we can get through tomorrow. That's my take. What about you? What's your reflection on today?
I agree. Definitely, it's also not always going to be terrible. There is going to be people that have been blessed or luck or whatever you guys believe in, and they will have a lovely journey. But majority of them, it is difficult because at the end of the day, we're humans and we're going to miss whatever is back home or whatever we're leaving behind. But definitely don't get discouraged by these experiences. It will make you grow. It will make you strong. It will make you meet the most amazing people ever. And people that you will create and will make family at the end of the day. So all of these things do become positive. I think we should make a episode of positive things.
We will.
This is like
everything is like, yeah. I think this is my part of it. She will give you. We will make a good episode.
Why we make it a negative? It's not necessarily a negative. It's just it is real and it is raw.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we bring this out is because majority don't talk about this. Sometimes we might hint it off, but we don't actually go in there, and it's actually very normal. Of course, there's so much fun. There's so much positivity in moving as well, especially if you're coming from a country that might not be well developed in a way to say it. So you are coming to safety, you are coming to peace, you are coming to a place. But at the end of the day, it will be scary because it's new, it's unknown, and it will always help if you have someone that can give you a hand here. But with that said, yeah, don't be scared to take that initiative because it is a great one and it does create a difference. Even if you are going to go back home, at least you have that experience, which actually I recommend everyone to just take a flight and fly on your own, and because it does show you a lot about yourself as well, especially when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
But with that said,
my favorite part.
Yes, let's listen.
With that said, Oh, thank you for being with us. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I really need to find a way to.
Also, if you guys comment, if you want something specific for us to talk about, that would be amazing. And if not, please share with us a bit of your story. We would like to hear about how you overcame certain struggles when you moved in.
Yeah.
And yeah, just leave us a little note and we'll
We'll read it through. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's important because just talk about it. And if you want a space to talk about it, if it's something you can write it down, we will share your story. Because sometimes we pretend so much that everything is okay that at times you just want to scream and tell someone I'm not okay, or you want to scream and tell someone I'm brilliant, I'm okay, but you can't do that. This is a safe space for you. We will share your story. If you want to come on and share your story as well, even if you don't want to appear, if you want to do a recording, something, we are creating this space for you. Talk about it.
I think it's important for us to let it out, especially, or if you just feel frustrated about a situation, like let us know. But specifically, let us know what you did to overcome and settling into
the UK. All right. We love you so much. And thank
Take
you.
care of yourselves and make sure you drink water.
Yeah.
In my case, I drink one, but that's because I've had 2 bottles of water. So I deserve it. Bye.
I deserve water.
Yeah.